I buy dead people's history. I should have never bought that 1994 tape. My name is Liam. I run a small antique shop in a lonely, foggy town in Oregon. Last month, I went to an old, abandoned farmhouse for an estate sale. The family who lived there completely vanished back in 1994. Deep in the dark basement, under heavy dust, I found it. A vintage, wooden reel-to-reel tape recorder. Inside was a single, blank magnetic tape. No labels, no names. The auctioneer sold it to me for just $20. He looked terrified. He just wanted it gone. That night, I was alone in my shop. Outside, the rain was heavy. I cleaned the machine, plugged it in, and pushed the heavy metal play button. The plastic reel began to turn, slowly. For 30 seconds, there was nothing, only the low, cold hiss of the tape. Then a sound, a child's voice, a little girl giggling. But her laugh was too slow, distorted, wrong.
Daddy?
She whispered.
The man in the wall is playing the skin game again.
My blood turned to ice. I reached out to stop the tape, but another voice started. A man, sobbing, gasping for air.
I looked the basement.
The man wept into the microphone.
But he didn't use a door. He grew out of the shadows under the floorboards.
A loud, wet, cheering sound exploded from the speakers, like wet clothes being ripped apart. No, like flesh being ripped from bone. The man screamed. A horrific, blood-curdling shriek. Then the tape stopped. Silence. Just that static hiss. I sat there, frozen. I couldn't breathe. And that's when I smelled it. The heavy, sickening smell of old blood and wet hair. It filled the room. I didn't sleep that night. That wet, cheering sound was stuck inside my head. The next day, I did something completely stupid. I wanted answers. I set up my phone on a tripod and started a live stream on Reddit. I wanted to play the tape for my followers. Maybe someone knew about the 1994 farmhouse. Hey guys, I said to the camera, my voice shaking. Listen to this. I pressed play. The girls whispered, the man's crying, the wet rip. The chat went completely crazy. Fake! Turn it off! Creepy! But then, one user named Shadow94 typed a comment that made my heart stop. Look behind you, on the monitor. Behind my desk, a large black security monitor showed the live feed of my shop. I slowly turned my head. The showroom was pitch black, lit only by the street lamps outside. On the screen, I saw myself sitting at the desk, but then, on the tape, the loud click happened. At that exact second, on the security monitor, the reflection on the shop window changed. It wasn't the rainy street anymore. Pressed flat against the glass, from the outside, was a monster. Impossibly tall, it had no face, just a giant, wet, vertical slit right down the middle of its head. I wiped my head around to look at the real window. Nothing. Just rain. I looked back at the monitor. The monster was now inside the room. It was standing directly behind my chair. It traced a long, skeletal, pale arm. It reached down and it placed one freezing finger right onto my left shoulder. In real life, in that exact microsecond, I felt it. A heavy, bone-chilling, icy pressure on my shoulder. I screamed. I threw myself off the chair. My phone hit the floor, and the stream cut to black. I didn't look back. I ran out into the freezing rain, leaving the doors wide open. I drove to a hotel 3 towns away. I locked myself in the bathroom, crying and shaking for 3 days. Finally, the police checked my shop. They found nothing. No monster, no signs of a break-in. Everything was clean, except for one thing. The vintage tape recorder was gone. The police thought I had a mental breakdown. I never went back. I closed the shop, sold everything online, and moved to a modern apartment in Seattle. No antiques, no old things. Everything brand new. But yesterday was my birthday. A heavy cardboard box was sitting at my door. No return address. I thought it was from my sister. I opened it. Inside, on a bed of old, dirty newspaper, was a single, modern, black cassette tape. Written on it in thick, black marker was one word: Liam. My hands shook so badly, I could barely breathe. I refused to play it. I ran to the hallway and threw it down to the trash chute. I went to bed, praying, trying to forget. But at exactly 3:14 a.m. I woke up. The apartment was dead silent, except for a tiny, rhythmic sound coming from inside my bedroom closet. The sound of magnetic tape spinning. I froze in my bed, paralyzed by absolute terror. The closet door slowly, quietly clicked open, just 1 inch, and from the pitch black darkness inside, a voice drifted out. It wasn't the little girl. It wasn't the father. It was my voice. It was a recording of me from 3 days ago, screaming in that hotel bathroom. But the tape was slowed down, distorted, wet, and beneath my own screaming voice, I heard it, a wet, rhythmic clicking sound. The sound of long fingers tapping against the inside of the closet door, moving closer and closer to my bed.